I'm so grateful that you decided to take this meeting and this interview. This is actually my first time trying to do a recorded Zoom interview. So I was like, oh, this would be perfect because she likes to be in front of the camera. You were so pleasant when I met you at the car show. So I was so excited. So thank you so much.
And you're so pretty. You know, you need to be on the camera anyway. Hello.
Thank you. So knowing you help others with brand strategy, can you introduce yourself to everyone in case they not sure who you are?
Absolutely. I am Ericka Porter, MBA. They also call me the Media Maven. I am a television producer turned entrepreneur who also still practices in television industry. It's been now 23 years. I'm also a media and business consultant. So I help brands, whether they're media or non-media related. I help them to be exposed by the media from an international perspective. Okay. Also do some coaching and some development that I've been doing over the years to help to develop brands. So say that they may not be ready to be out there in front of the world per se, their products or services is. And so at least helping them to establish that component of the business, to attract their necessary audiences. So overall, that's where all the Media Maven stuff comes from. I mean, I do some talent work too, and I'm an author and, some other things. But, overall, it's me, understanding my purpose, which is to support and to encourage others' growth, in their lives, whether it's, from ground level personal growth to their professional lives. So that's why I'm here. And I receive it. God is good.
Right. I get it. So with the magazine and with the podcast, we usually talk about the lifestyle of entrepreneurs because a lot of people think, oh, I can just get on Instagram and I'm famous, or I could just get my LLC and that's it. So can you tell us a little bit about your time management with being an entrepreneur? Like what is the guidelines for that?
Yeah, most people that work with me, one of the things that has also made people that have worked with me success is that, I've given them some tips and tools to help to just manage their life and their lifestyles, because I am a mother of 4, but all my kids are grown now. And I have 2 granddaughters and 1 more grandchild on the way. So I've been raising a family through this process, right? And, it really all falls into time management, having a balance. And that's not always easy, and it's never perfect. I'm going to say that. But one of the things that I've made a point to, and I show people all the time, is my calendar, and it's all color coded.
Okay.
I mean, from sunup to the next day, literally. Yeah. I make sure that I follow and designate certain things, like that have to be done over the course of the day. The work that has to be designated, I schedule that. Unfortunately, I'm also the type of mother that has to schedule practices, schedule pickups, all that stuff, so I don't lose track or lose sight of time. My alarm keeps going, like 15 alarms a day. And, it really helps me, because otherwise I would not accomplish a single thing. Not to mention, one of the biggest things that I'm a very goal-oriented, strategic type of person. Okay. And so, I have goal lists that I don't let sit and, I have right now, I've got these little journals and stuff. I keep journals and I write my goal lists, even though I put stuff in my calendar and type everything up still. Yes. I write those things and bring those things into fruition, but that also means that with those things comes work. So I just make sure that I go back to my goal list, see what I have or have not accomplished, fit that into my schedule, once one thing is done and moved on. So it's really about trying to create what I call an imperfect but perfect balance in your personal and professional life. Um, I honestly, even when it comes to personal relationships, it took me forever to realize that it's okay to be in a relationship with somebody and have all this other hectic stuff going on, and still be able to pursue your dreams and have a family, have your family at the same time. So it's about creating just balance, and acknowledging that when you're tired. Just
Right. So you think self-care is important? Because I know a lot of people put on the list, I need my self-care, but no one actually does it. So
yeah,
how
yeah.
crucial is it to maintain self-care on that list of time management?
Self-care is priority number one because, honey, if you ain't together, nothing else is gonna get done. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm keeping it real. And then we're also right now, we're forced to be in the house.
Okay.
A lot of us now self-care, for a lot of us going to get your hair cut, going to get your nails done, all that kind of stuff. But now you're really connecting with yourself by doing those things for yourself
Mm-hmm.
while at home. So, if you need to, get the proper rest, or just beautify yourself for a moment, just the things. I like to read, to help me, things that like mentally stimulate me.
Okay.
I also like to do TikTok videos.
Yes, we're gonna get into that because
Yes.
you've done a amazing one of Tina Turner. And I literally watched it about 5 times before I could just put myself back together because I'm like, oh, I could just hear your voice. Even though you it was her voice, I still
Right.
it still seemed like that could have been your voice. So
That's good stuff, though. I'll take that. Yeah, I said,
yeah.
which one was it? Was it the one with the purple, or was it the first one?
Well, it was the one where the first one was when he tried to stop you singing. It was that
Yeah.
scene. I think you were in a
Yes. Yes.
and the other one was when you had
I
the
have my
heel.
Beyonce kissing my cheek at the
You had
beginning
the
of the
you had the high heel mic.
Yes.
And I was like, if this doesn't go viral, I don't know what does because
Yeah,
Tina
it is.
needs to
It
see that.
really is. Yeah. And it's people are just like Ericka, like I'm livid. I live for your Facebook page, your posts, funny, sad, everything taps into the heart,
Right.
with you. So but it does it. It literally like relaxes me,
Okay.
and it like sparks my creative juices because I can't be out in the streets. I'm not be able to travel. I'm not be able to do certain things I would normally do
Yeah, true.
to encourage that. So heck, what's wrong with making some TikTok videos? You know what I'm saying?
So how does that make you feel as an entrepreneur? Because you basically build your brand. That people reach out to you and say, man, you've made my day. I changed this because of something you said. How does that keep you going or how does that make you feel?
That's a really good question. Honestly, it just confirms that the things that I'm doing, I'm supposed to be doing. From a little kid, and people. If you've read my book, then you know my story, or you'll see snippets of parts of my life. But I was given visions of where my life is supposed to be a long time ago, and I am not even all the way there yet, right?
Yeah.
But this part of my life, I saw it happening when I was a kid, and I said, nah, because no, mm. like I was too embarrassed and ashamed to acknowledge my past and the things I have been through, and I wasn't, even though had this big personality, my personal life was just my personal life.
Yeah.
Nobody knew the drama and the trauma that I had experienced over the years. And so for me, it was just like, okay, we got to do something and be out there. So for it doesn't it just confirms everything. It confirms that what I'm supposed to be doing and how I've been helping people over the years, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I've accepted it, and because of that, I've continued to be blessed. You just can't ignore it. You can't.
Yeah, it pulls on you like a calling, and every time you go try to go in another lane, you find yourself in this like, how am I an entrepreneur? I thought I was gonna just work here, and then you turn around like, oh, it's not working, and God pushes you right back in that lane to say, no, I need you to service people this way. So,
Yeah.
what do you think the biggest misconception about being an entrepreneur is?
That it's magic and everything happens overnight.
Right.
Child, you're gonna have some ups and some downs, and I don't say your ups is gonna be minute compared to your downs.
Right.
A lot of times, but when you get to the place, it's really, it's when you get to the place where you understand that it's a growing process, it's a process,
Yes.
then you fit into that flow a lot better. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. Period.
I'm
I,
glad you said that. Say a
Because
little bit
everybody
louder
thinks,
for the
oh,
people
I
in the
can be
back.
somebody. I can do this. I can sell masks. I'm like, not everybody's designed. And honestly, entrepreneurs are born.
Yeah.
We're not built. We may grow through our experiences and gain all this knowledge and this information and all the other things that we've done to actually help to, make us, but you don't make an entrepreneur. You're already born that way. And for me, girl, I was hustling little Debbie snacks and on the streets and stuff when I was a kid. You know what I'm
You
saying?
never lie. You like parents turning you like, why are you selling that? I don't know. It's just,
Girl, look,
it's
ain't
in
nobody
demand.
questioning nothing. They be like, hey, you got that fudge stripe cake today? Why?
Right, right.
I mean, and because it was like if I didn't do it, we weren't gonna eat in my house. Period. Okay. So it was like, it was automatic. Do something.
Yeah, just
Get
don't
some
feel
money,
right.
buy something, sell something. The blessing out of it is that, I actually went to school and I have my MBA, so I wanted to understand, and gain some true discipline and entrepreneurship so that I could be able to also teach others. So, we're for real born with this, and not everybody is capable of running this game. It's not a game for everybody. I mean, like some people can play Monopoly and are really good at it, and some people lose all their damn properties.
Right. You're like, what were you thinking? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I seen you had your hands in a lot of different careers, as well as boosting others. So what was like your most rewarding part so far about working in this field?
I would say that every single time that I see somebody move to the next level is a reward.
Okay.
But I would say it started some years ago. It started back in 2003. I was working. I was back in Cincinnati. That's where I'm originally from, the greater Cincinnati area.
Okay.
And I was a media specialist. I had introduced a media specialist program into a Cincinnati public school that was an urban based. A lot of the kids that attended that school lived in the projects. But it was, and I would say that was about as close to what Chicago kids grew up experiencing, where they were from particularly. And so, they face a lot of violence, personal and, through themselves and also through their family members. They were drug dealers. One girl, she had like been pregnant like 3 times by the time she was in 8th grade.
Oh.
There was a lot going on, and they had no outlet, really no true outlet to be able to tap into their creativity. So I had introduced this program to the principal, and it took off like a storm. These fifth to eighth graders, their mindsets changed. Their hustle mentality changed. Because you can still be a hustler and not be doing it on the streets.
Yeah.
It calmed them. They became more disciplined. And the kids that were the trouble kids became the good kids that began to help the other kids. That was a long time ago. Those kids are grown-ups now.
Yeah.
Nothing is more rewarding. It's gonna make me tear up because I'm so close to some of those kids that are now grown-ups and they have their own families and they have their own careers and they have their own lives. A lot of them are doing creative work,
Yeah.
you know, and that right there, it confirmed that I'm supposed to teach. I'm supposed to pour into other people's lives. I'm not supposed to keep this to myself.
Yeah.
That's where people become disconnected with their passions and who they are and what they're supposed to do because what they get, they want to keep it to themselves. But our responsibility is to give it to the world. Yeah, I mean, it's to give it to the world. I'm like, world, but give it to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So every single time that I see somebody grow from the work, the impact that I've had on their lives,
Yeah.
that's one of the greatest rewards that I can ever receive. Period. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's very impactful because you are not only changing their lives, you're changing every life that they touch. Because if they touch the world negatively, then there's so many other people affected. Right. Sorry, we all
You got me
you
so
gonna have the
emotional
whole
because I'm like
screen.
thinking like one of the girls I won't say her name on the live, but she had her birthday, her 30th birthday yesterday. I was like, oh my God, she has a beautiful son. She's in law enforcement.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful home. And this was a child that I was visiting in the hospital. I was, she was trying to take her own life. She would start fights and things in the school. She
Yeah.
was abusing herself and others, but she was hurt. And, hurt people, you know. Um, but it brought so much joy. And and they reach out to me like, Miss Malden, so y'all call me Ericka now. Y'all grown, okay? I ain't look.
You're like, don't make me feel older because you old. I get it. I
Not
get
yet,
it.
not yet.
I totally get it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
can you give our listeners and our viewers a list of things or the companies you have in case they want to join your programs?
absolutely.
Yeah, we could try to get them signed up for this inspiration because you're gonna have everybody crying on the other side of the screen.
I'm trying to make myself stop. Yeah, so I started Edit Talent Group. That was back in 2003. We're a media production staffing agency. So I staff TV shows, corporate productions, live events, all that good stuff. So, and I'm talking about crew only. So behind the scenes crew. So if you are editing, you do camera work, you do PA work, those type of grip work, lighting, etc. We crew those. We provide other services through Edit Talent Group, but they're all crew focused.
Okay.
I also have Chicks That Pitch. Chicks That Pitch. We are responsible for pitching productions, people, and projects. So we actually are the mediator in the development and distribution process that happens for original content TV. So if you have a reality TV show idea, or a web series idea, because people are paying for web series now. Um, we are that mediator. I can, help you get. I can look at your stuff, see if it's legit, it's good, viable, great content, something's going to be attractive to the networks. and we can filter that stuff out, to the networks and production companies. And then, of course, myself, Media Maven Worldwide, which I personally do, and I'm the one that works as a media and business consultant. And, I produce on projects, produce on live events, help establish brands. And then, of course, me being a motivational speaker, I travel various parts of the country and speak, and motivate people through media and motivation. And but if anybody's ever looking for me, all you got to do is just type in Ericka Porter MBA. It's just so crazy. When what was her name that said, just Google me or something.
Oh, it was the first time I heard it was from Tiana Taylor. She had the song "Google Me," yeah, and I was like,
yeah,
oh.
it was before that. It was before Tiana. Somebody said it on a reality show. I think it was Omarosa.
Oh, I think she did, yeah.
And she was like, "Google me." I was like, "Google you," but it's true. Like it's if true. You now, like you. I always say, yeah, look, when people come to me, I'm like, are you Google ready? What's your name on Instagram?
Right. You the first page at least.
And I'm going to see all the stuff that pops up. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, yeah, I'm popping, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you're not. This is just your social media accounts. Okay? So what we going to do here to fix that?
Very grateful, very grateful. So what is give the listeners one piece of advice if they just want to start to try to determine if they are suited for the entrepreneur world, because a lot of people don't know if they have it in them because they've never been challenged to do so. We get raised to work that 9 to 5 or to get a job with a pension. So how can someone kind of gauge that to see, am I the one to start a business?
That is an excellent question, because like when I say to mothers who've had their first child and they screw up on that first child, ain't no handbook for parenting, in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So, and I said in the hood because, a lot of us are single parent households, so there's no handbook, right? But what you need to understand about yourself, and this is with everybody. Okay. We are all born with gifts and talents. Every last one of us. And we're also born with a purpose. Now, just because those things exist in our life does not mean that we need to translate those things into something that we can build on our own. What you need to do is you need to know what it feels like to work and survive in a corporate space. Okay. If you're thinking about it, know what that feels like by working in a corporate space. Don't jump into entrepreneurship immediately. And talk to some folks. Talk to other folks that own businesses. There's a lot of people that are interested, or open, like myself, that can help you to evaluate, to look at yourself as a whole and say, okay, do I have what it takes? Now, I'll say this. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is that, they're like, well, I don't want to work for nobody, so I'm just going to so I'm just going to start a business. Out here, ain't got no girl, ain't even registered with nobody's, no entity of nothing, no state of nobody's, no cities, no municipalities or nothing of nobody, ain't registered, okay? Don't have the drive or the energy to get yourself up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then have to do it again every day if that takes 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. I get people that comes to me all the time, and I'll talk to them, and I give them a couple homework assignments, right, to see what they can do.
Yeah.
How I usually know is if they come back with those assignments on time, on the day that we've scheduled to revisit each other. There's a lot of folks that don't come back with them homework assignments. And they're sitting on social media. They're sitting at home, stressing, worried about they boss and their job and getting that, this and that, everything, getting stuff turned in on time. And and that's okay. But if you're born to be an entrepreneur, then you need to be looking at and evaluating what you can do to contribute to the world that's going to impact change.
Okay.
Every person that owns a business doesn't create the business for themselves. They're creating a business for others. If you decide to come up with a business because you like it, then you're going to struggle.
Okay.
So everything I do, everything in the stuff I just listed, I don't, like, it's all for everybody. It's like it's like, crew people, people to get their show TV and get themselves on TV and help to develop their brands. Like, this is all for them. It's not for me. It's like I literally waited umpteen years to decide to allow myself to be in front of the camera when I probably should have been there a long time ago. I had mentors and guides that were encouraged me to walk me through into news stations, but I wouldn't do it. But now, girl, I'd be like, lights, camera, oh, okay, let's go.
Right.
But entrepreneurship is not built for everybody. Look, you see, I got some shorts on, right? I got some shorts on doing a virtual meeting with you. My computer right here.
That's fine with me, as long as you're here.
But not everybody's built for entrepreneurship, flat out. They're just not. And if you out here, and then also you got to have a hustling spirit. I'm not trying to be funny, but there's a lot of criminals out there they're really good at what they do because they're smart.
Yeah. They just doing it in another industry.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say. Say, do you mind working for me and switch it a little bit? Because I'm need to try. Yeah.
Right. Hey, since you're doing that stuff in finances on the street, can you just bring that into the business? There was what was that? I think it was Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah.
I think it was like, that kind of thing. It's like, you were doing all the stuff in the street. Bring that stuff in here. Let's we could use you. You're breaking the law. Teach us how you broke the law so we can prevent that from happening.
Right. Like, how did you do that? Yeah, they do that a lot in law enforcement, I believe. So
they do. Yeah, they do.
So they can understand how people were able to get away with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, man, I mean, you just made my day today. That's all I'm gonna say. You just glowing right through the computer. Energy is great, and I'm sure everyone got something they can take home or something that they can start building their life with. And so I'm hoping that they reach out. You guys, you need to reach out.
Yeah.
The Media Maven and get those gems. Book her for your events. This is like vital information you need. Is there anything else you want them to kind of hold on to or take note before we get out of here?
Yeah, I know that it's a difficult time for you guys right now. I get that part. I also get that you don't know what's going to happen next. But the best thing that you can be doing for yourself right now is creating a plan. Write it out. I am a firm believer that if you write it, you receive it, you believe it, and believe it is yours. We won't be in this thing forever, but we're going to get on the other side of this thing. And what you don't want to do is to look back and have had wasted time, not accomplishing a single thing because you decided you wanted to Netflix
and chill
and eat and drink your wine and all that stuff. Okay, we had the first couple weeks to reset. Get to work.
Yeah.